Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we are Jaguar F-Type specialists. And it is a real privilege to show you this car today. It is a stunning V6S, all-wheel drive, 380 horsepower supercharged coupe. But the most important thing is that it is in very rare and highly sought after Firesand orange with a truly sensational specification. Let's take a look around. I dare say this is not a car for you if you are a shy person. This is a bright car, a happy car, a car which attracts admiring glances and looks wherever you go. You watch heads pivot as you go by. And that is because, first, it's an F-Type, so it's a stunningly good-looking shape. Second, it's a Jaguar, and there is just something about the Jaguar marque that has a tremendous following in the United Kingdom. And third, because in this beautiful colour, with these gorgeous black accents of the 20-inch Cyclone alloy wheels, with just that little hint of red on the brake caliper. The black pack continues, of course, with the side vents and the window surround. The panoramic roof creates this beautiful effect as you look down the A-pillar towards the back of the car. And then with the aerodynamic design pack on the car, side skirts, of course, and the rear splitters in Firesand body colour with those bright twin chrome exhausts. It really is a very splendid thing indeed. In terms of the condition of this vehicle, there are almost no signs of its age or mileage. It is, by the way, a two-owner car. Many people set store by the number of owners. We have not noticed a correlation between the number of keepers on a vehicle and necessarily the quality. We've seen cars with large numbers of keepers which have just been very well looked after. But regardless, the two owners who've had this beautiful F-Type have cared for it diligently. It's got great service history, it drives perfectly, and it's flown through all of our tests. Let's take a look inside. The car's supplied, of course, with two remote key fobs and the owner's book pack, but there's no need to press buttons on the fob if you don't want to, because amongst the features on this F-Type is keyless entry and start. Press the button there on the door handle, the handle deploys, the power fold mirror moves into position, and we can open the door and take a look around. Starting perhaps here with the door card, which is in stunning condition. It really is a very fine thing indeed, almost completely as it left the factory. And moving to the cockpit, this beautiful space with these gorgeous premium leather performance sports seats, the wingback design there, very comfortable and very much the option if you're going to be aggressive with this car around the bends. The side bolsters do hold you quite effectively. And they're rendered, of course, in jet or black leather with this beautiful twin contrast stitching which continues around the cockpit. Sitting down into an F-Type, always a great experience. You're immersed in a combination of technology and design. It's very crisp and sharp. It's a beautiful place to be. Let's take a look around in a little more detail. So starting between the headrests there, we've got a handy stowage. There's another stowage here between the seats under the armrest with a 12-volt socket, USB sockets, and an auxiliary in as well for the infotainment system, and a DVD CD player slot there too. Twin cup holders. And then we come to this beautiful center console, and to explore that, we'll switch the engine on. And at this point, I'm going to point out that this car has a Ghost immobilizer fitted. If you're not familiar with the Ghost, I'll show you how it works. And it's set up differently on each car so that a potential criminal can't work out without knowing precisely what's needed, the sequence that has to be executed to start the car. So first we put the electronics on. And then out of camera shot, I'm going to press a couple of buttons in order to satisfy the Ghost that I am the legitimate driver of the car and that I should be starting it up. So I'm doing that now. And then I simply press the brake pedal and start up normally. And there we are. We have the engine running, the electronics are live, the infotainment screen is there too, and we are ready to go, protected by that ghost immobiliser whenever we park the car. Back to the centre console, and there's a cluster of switches here for eco stop start. For the spoiler, that goes up at 70 and comes down at 54 miles an hour, but you can also put it up manually. Very important to do that before you wash the car so that you can keep it clean under that spoiler. We've got traction control off if you want a more exciting experience at the wheel, and then the button for the switchable active sports exhaust, which of course brings that additional depth to the exhaust note on this V6. Electronic parking brake, and then this beautiful gear shift. So it's got a trigger at the front. Pull that, we can pull the stick back into drive mode. That gives us the normal automatic gearbox, and then across to the left gives us sport gearbox mode, so the revs will be held higher, the upshifts come later, the downshifts come sooner, and so forth, for a sportier driving experience. And alongside that we have the driving mode switch here. At the moment we're in normal mode. If I move the switch rearwards, we go into dynamic mode, and the dashboard turns red to tell us we are in full tutti frutti driving mode. The car is sharpened up, the suspension is tighter, the throttle response is different, and so forth, and we are ready for an exciting experience at the wheel. Back into normal mode, and then if we press the switch forward again, we go into the very useful rain, ice and snow mode. Now this is a mode which really calms the car down, and if you're driving on slippery surfaces, it is a very good idea to engage rain, ice and snow. It dampens the throttle response and makes the car very much more stable and less likely to give you a shock. Back to the centre console, and we've got the beautiful bronze stop-start button, of course. Electrically heated front windscreen on this car is an extra cost option, and we've got the rear heated windscreen, of course. A handy max button there that clears all the windows as quickly as it can, and the recirculation, air conditioning and auto switches for the climate control there. Two selectors for the dual zone temperature, so you and your passenger can select the temperature you wish, and also there we dial in the electric heated seat temperature, so 3 stages of electric heating there to keep you warm in the winter. The infotainment screen, well, it's massively fully featured. From the home screen here we can go to the audio source, which includes DAB radio. There are a number of options under My Music source, so Bluetooth from your phone, iPod, DVD, CD, and if you play a CD you can store it into the jukebox in the car as well, and then replay your stored CDs whenever you wish to. And there are aux and USB selections there as well. Back to the home screen, and if we hit left we can see we've got in-control apps available, subject to a little paperwork exercise at your nearest Jaguar dealer. And then over to the right we can see that this car has dynamic eye. That means that when we are in dynamic driving mode we can select the car setup in terms of gear shift, engine, steering and suspension. And we've also got a handy stopwatch if you're going to find yourself on the track, and there's a G meter and pedal as well, so you can, if you were driving on the track, you can ask your instructor to debrief you on your use of brake and accelerator at the end of the lap. It's all very high-tech stuff and great fun. Also here from this screen we go to the climate options. We can activate the parking sensors manually if we wish to, for driving forwards into a parking space. And again we access the audio selections there, and then we've got of course full Bluetooth telephony, very fully featured, and here the satellite navigation, which has a very clear display. It's very easy to use, very easy to read. Over on the steering wheel, we've got the audio and Bluetooth phone controls on the left. Of course, these beautiful bronze Ignis paddles. Ignis is the term that Jaguar uses for this colour. We've got the automatic headlamps on the left there, trip computer button, and over on the right-hand side, cruise control and speed limiter, and the heated steering wheel button. So in the winter, your hands will be toasty warm from very soon after you get into the car. Over there on the right-hand stalk, rain-sensitive wipers, And that concludes this little tour of the features on this very, very highly specified F-Type. This is a car which has come from the factory with many, many options on it. And it drives just beautifully. I mean, the V6S all-wheel drive is a tremendous experience. Okay, let's switch the engine off and take a look in the boot. Many sports cars suffer because the boot space is too small. But when they designed the F-Type, Jaguar made sure that this car wouldn't be on that list because they included over 300 litres of boot space in the back of an F-Type. Boot space which extends widely out behind the rear wheel arches and also down under this cover into a handy cubby hole there at the bottom. As you'll see, by the way, this car could be offered with the removable spare wheel. It's a lightweight, narrow tyre spare wheel. The problem with it, and it's a significant problem, is that having the spare wheel in the boot is not really an issue. But of course, if you do change a wheel, particularly a rear wheel, then you've got one of these huge 20-inch alloy wheels which you need to stow away. And for that reason, lots of people prefer to have the compressor and tyre inflation gunk, which will get them home without trouble. The boot then, a very significant space, pack soft bags, and you can easily get enough in here for a decent holiday away. Friends of mine have recently done 6 weeks around Europe in their F-Type without any problems at all. And by the way, for animal lovers, some people do remove the parcel shelf here and carry a dog or two in the back of the F-Type. Yes, it's a bit of a sill to lift your dog over, but friends of mine have Labradors and keep them in the back of the F-Type, and they live a tremendous life with their dogs and their sports car, and you can't get better than that, really. On the passenger side of the car, and again, everything is in tremendous order. In fact, I suspect this car has very seldom carried passengers. The door card is perfect. The interior, the footwell, this beautiful leather seat show very few signs of occupation. They're in fantastic condition. All in all, again, exemplary of the fact that this car has been very well cared for indeed. Under the bonnet, and there is Jaguar's supercharged 3-litre V6 engine producing 380 horsepower and propelling this F-Type from 0 to 60 in just 5.1 thrilling seconds and on to 171 miles per hour. And you can see again under the bonnet here that everything is in fabulous order. This car's been looked after so very well. It isn't the case that we've taken a car and scrubbed it and cleaned it until it looks like this. It really did arrive with us looking very, very fine indeed, and it has been very easy to arrive at this beautiful finish and preparation for the next owner. But the thing, having mentioned those speeds and numbers and so on, about the F-Type isn't just numbers, it's the driving experience. It's being the human in that driving seat, moving that steering wheel, pressing those pedals, making those selections, and getting this car to connect driver to road in just the most sublime way. Yes, the performance is terrific. Yes, the soundtrack is sensational. But the best thing of all about an F-Type is simply how it feels as you urge this car down the road, or indeed, I dare say, round a racetrack. The enjoyment that you get from feeling that ultimate connection via this beautiful machine is just the most thrilling thing. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It's been a huge privilege to show you this beautiful F-Type. We are Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire. We're open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp us with any inquiries, or if you'd like to come and see the car in person or see it by video call. If you've got a car to dispose of, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to do that, whether part exchange, using one of the buying services, selling privately or whatever. And if you need to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA. We can send you a link to the Google Drive for this car or any of our others, where you can see high-resolution photos which you can zoom in on, along with PDF copies of important documents. And we will stand by to hear from you. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Do please take a look at our reviews in Auto Trader. I'm very proud indeed of the things that our previous customers say about us. And once again, I do look forward to hearing from you.